Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's Chukaba. We're back with some more Goggles draft review. We're talking Regulation H, VGC Draft League, the 14th season of the best draft league out there in the Pokemon community. I'm joined by three fellow old people that occupy this server and like playing Pokemon. Why don't you introduce yourself, gentlemen?
All right, I'll go first.
Gotta have the crackage in the JDB intro.
Absolutely,
You saved that.
I did. I've been holding it for. I've been like this for 3 minutes.
Just anxiously waiting.
It's me. It's JDB, not a real doctor. Washed up commentary broadcaster.
Nice. Elite at crackage, though. You're elite at popping the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of popping,
you gotta be talking when it happens too, or Discord might noise gate you.
And speaking of popping, I'm here. Traded out Jordan, who I guess was here a little bit ago for me. So hello, if you're into the poppin' flavor, I'm here now. Happy to be here for the last quarter of teams in the league. Happy to look at these. Thanks for having me, fellas.
Yeah, and I'm Pancake Mix of the Paldean Pancakes. First old review, going well. Looking forward to more.
Hell yeah, love it.
Happy to have you.
Well, we've got the snow division. We're getting into the little weather divisions over here with the sand and the snow, little, hail coming down. But this is no weather team here we're looking at. This is Raymond's team, a former champion of the league, has a
two-time champion.
Pretty scary psychic team around the Indeedee F. So what is going on here, my friends? This is my week 1 matchup, by the way.
Oh, boy. You know what? If there was any team that your Dark Squad was going to match into week 1, I think you kind of lucked out here. So, if this isn't the week, then I'd be a bit worried.
Yeah, but, I am worried.
I think maybe you should still be worried.
Yeah, I think this is a better usage of Sneasler than we saw in the other conference. The Psychic Terrain has really good synergy with that mon. And indeed, he provides a lot of the redirection support that you want to keep something as heinous as Sneasler on the field for as many turns as possible. Then obviously you have the incredible Trick. This is a really scary team the more I look at it. You got the terrifying Trick Room mode, 4 killers right in a row from Hatterene through Rhyperior. Typhlosion's there for a fast mode, and Ray made good use of Blissey last season, so we'll see what he can do with Chansey this time. Good luck, man.
I'm gonna need it. This is so scary the more I look at it. It's like it really hurts me. I think this is how you make like one of these Indeedee Psy spam teams, though. It's like you don't go all in on the slow mode, the Trick Room mode. Like this is a team that has an incredible Trick Room mode. Hatterene, Arachnid, Executor, Rhyperior, Indeedee. Like that's cracked right there. Like so hard to deal with all those things at the same time. Arachnid is a prep altering threat. Rhyperior is a prep altering threat. Psy spam is a prep altering threat. And somehow you have to find a way to deal with all of those on top of the fact that you have amazing fast options. Like the Frisk on the Typhlosion is going to be really nice here. Just have that information to tell you how to play the rest of the match and what's going to be best. Sneasler's going to take advantage of that Unburden boost and be the fastest thing on the field when you came prepared to stop their slow mode. And it's going to do a lot of things that you're not going to like. I mean, this thing has 130 attack, and it's going to be applying status to you while hitting you really hard. It's just, it's very, very scary. Not to mention you have Cottony to enable a potential fast mode as well. You've got the Raichu as another expanding force user. Really, really solid team.
That is also faster than everything. That's what Search Surfer does, right? Gets double speeded Psychic Terrain? Is it Electric Terrain?
I think it's an electric terrain.
Oh,
yeah, it's an electric, but it does get expanding force though, which is why it's here. So
who needs it?
Yeah.
And one thing I do like is the value of Arachnid here to help obviously ward off dark types, but when you see side spam, the first thing I think is, oh, okay, let me search for the move Snarl and put it on everything that learns it. And then Arachnid has Wide Guard, and then you can't do that. And it also has good enough Bug Stab to smack your dark types alongside Hatterene. So I think that was a really good pickup in addition to being also just an absolute nuclear bomb under Trick Room.
Yeah, Arachnid's sweet. There's the Trick Room. Ray hasn't really done much Trick Room drafting in the past, has he?
doesn't have to.
He had a really strong Trick Room team last season, and then he just smoked me with it by running it fast. So God knows what you're gonna face when you play this guy.
But like this is a solid Trick Room mode with like a couple of other a couple of like rounded out fast stuff within the Prankster Cottony with your budget speed control in the form of what is it? Cotton Spore is not quite Tailwind, right? It's pranksterable
something like that.
Speed debuff. So yeah, I think that's the one. It's the one that Cottony gets, whatever that one's called.
Is this a sneaky Sun team, guys?
I don't know how sneaky your Sun team is when you have Sui Typhlosion. It could be right out there in the open, and what do you do? How do you stop it?
You could literally just read Cottony next to Scarf Typhlosion and just click Eruption, and it's gonna kill a lot of things.
It's got a Sun mode, but I don't think I would call it a Sun team by any means.
Yeah, maybe.
That's fair.
Maybe not.
I want to see the Harvest Exeggutor. I wasn't brave enough to bring that last season.
I wasn't brave enough to bring it either.
It's like so hard to justify it over Frisk, right?
Yeah.
It's like you have a Pokemon with Frisk, you just use it, and it's so good.
I'm a hater now.
It also has a bunch of weaknesses.
It's impossible to bring.
I do think
it's so hard to bring.
That Ghost Exeggutor, or I've got Trevenant in my brain.
Yeah, Ghost Exeggutor
as a Frisk and Harvest.
That's a good transaction.
As Frisk and Harvest, like I think it is a Pokemon that much more, would appreciate having access to both and doing some both times. But yeah, most of the time you're going to want Frisk on the Exeggutor.
If we're talking weaknesses, because obviously this is an excellent team, but I mean, maybe it's the fact that I totally lost my train of thought. I had a thought, and then it was gone. I'm so sorry.
You said if we're talking weaknesses.
Yeah, what's the weakness? Oh, I was going to talk about the type chart a little bit. Like there are a lot of shared weaknesses here. 4 weaknesses to flying. So flying is going to be a really attractive option offensively, especially when one of the resists is Raichu, where you're not really expecting that to be a main part of the game plan a lot of the time. A lot of weaknesses to ice types, including a 4X weakness. So like there are ways that you can kind of like run good coverage moves and just deal damage to a lot of the team. I mean, even like Dark does a lot of damage to a lot of the heavy hitters that you're looking at, like the Typhlosion and the Indeedee are probably going to come to a lot of matches, so like there are ways around it, but overall really solid team. Little weaknesses.
I actually really like how this team is covering the Dark weakness. Like we were talking about, you see Spy Spam, but again, we've got the Wyvgard, we've got the Sneasler, who is a threat in the psychic terrain, and we've got Arachnoid, who's a threat in the Trick Room. So yeah, like I look at this, I'm like, all right, let me make sure my Dark type is coming, but also let me make sure my Dark type is safe.
Yeah,
I'm in danger. I'm in danger.
Is this kind of just a 6-mon team that is going to bring it's going to bring Exeggutor Lola 2 weeks and Cottony 1 week? Like, is it the top 5 plus Rhyperior, and then Cottony comes twice and Exeggutor comes once, or something like that?
I think Mandibuzz is a very reasonable Tailwind setter for a, like, actually thinking about going fast mode. Like, it would be like a faster mode.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, when is Chansey or Raichu ever going to show up? Or, I don't know. Like, I guess it's possible, but I don't know. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It kind of just seems like it's a 6-mon team with a little bit of extra flexibility, which is fine. Like, that's allowed.
I'm just about ready to put this thing in A tier.
Yeah, I think we can. I
think top of A tier for me. If not S tier. I think the Trick Room mode with the Trick Room threat with the speed threat, and knowing that those are made of the same set of Pokemon is really strong.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's going to be a team to watch this season. I think this could be a contender. Obviously coached by a great coach as well. Definitely has got a shot. It's going to be hard for teams to manage all this power. Let's take a look at another team from a newcomer to the VBLS, I believe, right? Forest. The Snowpoint Capybaras. What a cute logo. Come on, look at that thing. I love Capybaras. I think they're adorable. But in theme with the Snowpoint Capybaras, we got one of the best ice types on the board in Baxcalibur, which I think partners really well with the Golden Go. We've got Premier Speed Control with the Illumice, offering Prankster Thunderwave, Prankster Tailwind. We've got Sylveon, which is often regarded as one of the most solid fairy types you could draft to your team. We've got some interesting mons at the end here. How do we think this team works as a collective in this draft league season?
This is the first I'm looking at this team. This is not a team that I looked at ahead of time. I don't know what I think of this team. It's got some solid stuff at the top, and I feel like it falls apart in the back half.
Yeah, it's really happy to tailwind up a Baxcalibur and start glaive rushing or icicle spearing. Tailwind up tail up a Godango, spam a make it rain, and then switch out into a melodic to come back and do it again. It can do things. It has threats.
Illumise melodic is sweet. Love those top 5. We've rebuilt Primarina in the aggregate.
Yeah, is that one of the best Dragon Fairy Steel cores that you can make on this board?
Yeah, I think it probably is a contender for the best. You got the best steel, probably the best fairy, honestly.
Maybe you could toss up best dragon.
Yeah, maybe not the best dragon.
Golden Go have really good synergy,
for the levitate, or like Salamence for an intimidate, something like that. But yeah, I mean that's a solid fairy dragon steel.
Yeah.
This whole back half though, I don't understand.
Armarouge is starting. Where the confusion starts for me, because Armarouge can be a good mon by itself, but it needs a very particular set of supportive options that are not present. And Raichu seems a little confusing here, with the only electric weak being what do you call it, Milotic?
Yeah, it's not saving anything.
It's bulky enough to kind of be okay by itself. There's a lot of fake out here, but I don't necessarily see what it's. I guess fake out is good to help Excalibur glaive rush more freely, help Golden Go get a nasty plot off, but. The Trick Room, when I see this team, I'm bringing Trick Room every single week, and good luck stopping it. You have a handful of taunt users, 2 of them are bad, 1 of them doesn't want to run taunt. Your slowest thing is Lurantis, who is that even really a Pokemon?
This is not low tier. Lurantis is not good anymore.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Yeah, it's time to shine.
Notably, Armarouge is the only Trick Room setter that this team has available, which could be very problematic. Another problem is like, with the second half, it's like I don't think these second half complement the top half with covering for their weaknesses. Like I'm seeing Golden Go first pick, and I'm seeing no ghost resists or immunities outside of a Zangoose, which doesn't want to be in the match most of the time, right? So it's like I'm seeing no poison resist outside of the Golden Go. So it's like when I'm building against a team like this, that's something that I'm taking note of, and I'm like, okay, I could put Sludge Bomb on my poison type, and there's only one mon that I can't hit with it. Like that's potentially problematic, especially when you have an exploitable speed control strategy like this, where the slow mode is very attractive. Like if I have a really slow Pokemon, I could give it Terra Ghost and just start hitting stuff with Terra Blast if I want to, and I'm going first. Like this is a team that, in its current state, is exploitable, I think, and it's because the second half doesn't complement the first half.
I think this team would really, really appreciate an Intimidate user. Honestly, I don't know if it was drafted, but something like Stantler would work really well on this team. Another Ghost option. You have the Intimidate Trick Room setter. You have the Intimidate skill swap for competitive nonsense.
Yeah,
I think you need a better option to fight. Either if you don't want to play in Trick Room, that's fine. You don't have to. You need a better way to deny it. And of the back half, starting at Armarouge, the only one I particularly like is Hitmonchan, just because it's good value for 5 points.
Yeah, I don't hate the Vulpix either.
I think Vulpix is a. And also, I was looking at it because
what's it doing? Making your back stronger?
The doc is wrong. Vulpix isn't even a fairy type. It's just a regular ice type. So you can't even use a. I don't think it is. I could be wrong. Maybe I don't know anything.
Well, let's see.
But like.
Yeah, you're right. It is just an ice type.
So you can't even use it as a clutch back switch in. But you know what? If everybody's using this prep doc and doesn't watch this video, then they won't know that. So.
That's true.
That's right.
That's true. I think, for 2 points, though, it's like, it could come in with a Sash, set the snow for backs, and click Aurora Veil. You know what I mean? Like, Maybe.
Mhm.
Like it's. I think you could do a lot worse.
Maybe
for
he's
2
doing
points.
a lot of heavy lifting, but I see the vision.
Yep.
Maybe. But yeah, I think we're
Yeah.
all on the same page here that this is a strong start that maybe didn't round out the way that it had the potential to. And I think with a couple transactions, this could end up being a lot scarier.
I
Yeah,
really
'cause
like
don't
the
let our-
Stantler suggestion. I think Stantler's a muster.
That's
I
really good to hear.
I really enjoyed having it in my last season, even though it was low tier, but getting the ghost immunity and then having like a real, I can set Trick Room or I can set Imprison to go along there, and then you can skill swap. I love skill swapping.
Skill swap's the best move. And, like,
It's
don't
so
let our-
it's so fun.
If you're watching this for us, don't let our comments in the back half throw you off. The first 5 are like, if this team
Yeah.
stopped here, this would be number 1 on the list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really strong.
It's really good. And like honestly, these 5 will just win sometimes. You know, like
Yeah.
sometimes you could just
Yeah.
bring these top 4 and they'll just be better.
Yep.
Like really good synergy here. It's just on a season long basis, you might struggle in certain matchups without the option. So I'm gonna put this. I don't know. I think I'm gonna put it somewhere in like the C range.
I like high C.
Yeah, I think it's a C tier team. It is
I can see low. I can see low B, but I think like
I think like top of C.
yeah, I think it's a C tier team.
Good stuff though on the top.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We've got the glorious Greninjas, coached by V.
All right. V returns after a season or two, chilling, taking some time off. This is an interesting team in my opinion. It's a pretty heavily physical team that basically doesn't care about Intimidate at all. Like you bring Intimidate against this team and you look like an idiot because Mudsdale is body pressing, so who cares? You've got Empoleon competitive, so you're going to get punished. You've got Annihilate Defiant, so you're going to get punished. Salamence can very easily be special, so who cares? But like those are also some of the main attackers, and like you almost want to bring Intimidate into this team anyway, and then just look stupid and feel dumb for doing it.
Yeah, but you're gonna feel really silly if you don't intimidate the Salamence and you get blown up, or the Weavile.
Yeah, I think maybe Burns is the way to go against this team, right? Bring your screens,
Burns
stuff
screens.
like that is going to be nice. But so I like that, right? I like that a lot. I like you've got a sort of like not quite Disquake mode in like Gardevoir plus Mudsdale or Gardevoir plus Terraground Salamence in like Hyper Voice or Dazzling Gleam plus Earthquake, and Gardevoir has Telepathy. There's some cool stuff going on there. I like Weavile a lot.
Yeah.
Torracat, I'm surprised it was 9 points given how much we discounted other very good Pokemon. I would have expected Torracat to be more like 6 or 7. But, it's not all cheap. Electabuzz is nice. You can do some Dragon Dancing next to a Follow Me Electabuzz, or you can bulk up with your Annihilate. There's lots of good setup opportunities with this team, and Electabuzz is, I think Magmortar probably a little better because of the Flame Body burn chance versus the paralysis chance on Electabuzz.
Sure.
But, Electabuzz can do a little bit of speed control as a treat or something like that, right? I mean, it's base 105, it's got Electro Web, It does different, like, they're different Pokemon, right? Electabuzz and Magmar. I do think that V maybe got a little too in the sauce on finding support, like value supports, and there might not be enough other stuff going on, right? You've got the Electabuzz, you've got the Torracat, you've got the Grafaiai, you've got, Weavile can be pressuring offensively, but is also generally faking things out. Maybe it's Ice Shard and Icy Wind or something like that, Triple Axle is the fourth move. Mudsdale can take a while to get going sometimes. So maybe a little bit too much, digging for value versus immediate immediate offense, but it's not a terrible team. I think V's got some good stuff going on here. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think this team's definitely solid. It has a lot of good pieces. Any team with Mudsdale on it, instant A tier at the very least.
So strong.
For being the world's biggest Mudsdale fan, I've never drafted it, so I should probably get around to that. But
Yeah.
this team has a lot of interesting pieces. It's unique seeing an Annihilate team that doesn't have something that obviously pairs with it. Because like you have Weavile for beat up, but Weavile's frail. It wants to be hitting other things. It can just go a side hit, but I guess it's a valid use for Weavile, but I don't really have any big complaints here. Maybe a lack of a grass type could help out that obviously glaring ground weakness, especially given Open Terra. It's not too surprising. You're going to load up the match and see, all right, 4 Terra grasses, 2 Terra flying. Well, all right. And I know everything's going to be able to do it, so... I don't know. I think this team is pretty good. I'd be interesting to see how it plays out, like we said earlier, with dealing with burns and reflect week to week. And Annihilate's obviously a massive threat. There's a reason it's 19 points. And Electabuzz really helps out with that because, like we said, if you bulk it up or if you try to get it with a spread move, it's not going to do enough damage and then you die to Rage Fist. So I think this is a pretty solidly A-tier team.
Interesting. I'm a little lower on it. Like, I think it's going to have a lot of trouble maybe with some Trick Room. Like, Gardevoir is the only thing around that can even get in the way. And if, like, Mudsdale will be really good into every Trick Room matchup, and Empoleon is almost slow enough to really be good in all the Trick Room matchups, but it can get dicey if it especially like a Hatterene looks really good into a lot of this team.
Yeah, I think it's particularly problematic that the only Trick Room setter at all is Gardevoir, where it's like it's an 80 speed mon that oftentimes wants to be making use of its 125 special attack, where it wants to be hitting things with Dazzling Gleam and stuff like that. So, it's not ideal by any means. I mean, luckily in the Trick Room department, I do agree that the Mudsdale is going to be pretty big. It's coming a lot of the time, and it can be anti-Trick Room on its own, where it's like, okay, you could set up Trick Room. I'm going to bulk up with my Annihilate, and I'm going to bring in my Mudsdale, and then I'm just going to survive through the Trick Room, right? Like, maybe that's a valid strategy, but you're certainly right that it's not ideal. And I think this team, might be better rounded out if it had, like, another better, more reliable Trick Room setter. But overall, I'd say this is a pretty good team. It's definitely in the top half for me.
Yeah, it's also got a lot of natural speed, and that's going to be really valuable for it.
Yeah, I guess if I'm playing this team and I'm going for a Trick Room mode, I'm obviously looking out for Gardevoir and Prison. The only other possible option that's not just one of the obvious ones like Taunt or something like that. Grafaiai learns a lot of easy ways to mess with speed control. I know Copycat Grafaiai is a really successful tool a lot of the times. But other than that, the Trick Room is actually a bit of a weakness more than I had originally seen, so fair enough. And one thing I do like about this, I just like the bulky style of this team for the most part. All these mons take a couple hits and weaker on the physical side, but you got double Intimidates if you want to bring either of them. So
I wish this team had like an elite screen setter, and then I would be like losing my mind.
Sure.
Grafaiai get screens.
Yeah, would be too good.
Can't all be winners.
You're only allowed to have one prankster Pokemon as good as Sableye. Every
honestly,
other prankster Pokemon has to have some move or subset of moves that you wish it had, but it doesn't.
Is this team just better if you replace Grafaiai with like Morgrem?
Most teams are better with Morgrem.
I like that. Then you have 4 mons that want Eviolite, and so it's hard to bring multiple of them, but yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, that's another thing to consider too, is that the Torracat and Electabuzz are going to be competing a lot for that Eviolite. And those are like, normally it's like, if the competing members for Eviolite are at the end of the team, it's like fine, whatever. But like these are 2 core members. So that could be dicey.
Yeah, I think most of the time you just want it on Electabuzz because it's just better there. Yeah. Not only is it naturally bulkier, so it's even bulkier with the Eviolite, but also you're going to be, follow me. So you're going to be, it's going to have to take more hits. But yeah, totally agreed, right? I mean, you have 3 Pokemon that want to be, like, a reason to draft it is so that you get access to the extremely good item Eviolite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in like the middle of B tier, I think, for now.
yeah, I think
Sure.
it's a B tier team for sure.
All right. Next up
Who's
on the
next?
list, we've got Rock, a new
Subject to
coach,
change.
VBL, and I really like this team, man. I like Poppin.
love this
Weren't you
team.
singing the praises of this team during the draft?
Yeah, I think this team's awesome. I may have helped some of the draft choices here, but that might be influencing my decisions. But I think this team is sick. I was helping them prep for week 1, and there's so many fun options on this team. It's totally my
All right.
style.
This is the first time I'm looking at this team. This team rules. This is
It's the best.
exclusively Pokemon that I like a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and also Glalie is here.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Florgus Hydrapple is a whole mode of bulky, never die craziness.
yup.
You got a really strong Trick Room setter in Bronzong. You've got a good abuser in Ursaluna and Hydrapple and Florgus. Toxicroak is good, cheap fake out that can do things after it fakes out. Kilowattrel dies to everything.
Yep.
Yeah,
but it often it sets Tailwind first.
Access to
some of the
the
time.
extremely broken item Eviolite.
Yeah, and Bisharp's one of the best Eviolite users. It's so strong.
Mm-hmm. It used to just be a real Pokemon, and then they just gave
Yeah.
you Eviolite for free.
Well, but
Yeah.
and it wasn't good.
It was okay. It was
No,
it was 9 points. It was better than 9 points. But yeah, I think this team has a lot of options. Obviously, the Zoroark Kasui first round pick for the mascot. You gotta love that.
Love it. Love
And I
it.
know
Love
when
it.
we were discussing about the draft, the second you pick Kingambit Tsukaba, it was I was in a state of depression. That was like the perfect synergy with Zoroark, and then Rock just goes, What about little baby Kingambit? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, hey, it's honestly like it's fine as a replacement. You know,
Yeah,
it does
it's
the
just-
job, and it saves you some
it's
points
budget.
for later, so you could just grab
Exactly.
an Ursaluna
Exactly.
in round
Yeah.
two.
Yeah. Bisharp and Ursaluna love looking like Zoroark.
And I honestly, I think that's like the elephant in the room. That's this team that we haven't talked about yet is the 20-point behemoth that's sitting in the 3rd draft position. You know, Ursaluna is like one of those format-defining mons here in Regulation H because it's one of those like mons that slip through the cracks where it's like they banned all these legendaries and these like min-max powerful power creep monsters, and then like the Ursaluna forms are in there. And Ursaluna kind of took a back seat once Blood Moon came out because it's a little harder to operate. But that being said, I mean, I think this is a pretty good Ursaluna team.
I think the Ursaluna paired with both methods of speed control being immune to ground is humongous.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. Like, the Bronzong and the Kilowattrel are just, like, ideal partners for it and enabling it. You know, you could even run just straight up Disquake, and it's, like, strong.
Mhm.
Like, you don't even
Yeah,
need the Guts boost to hit hard because it has 140 attack. Turn 1, you can click Earthquake and Discharge, and things are going to die. I mean, that's, like, a lot of power turn 1. And not to mention, it's like, you lead this thing, and it's actually Zoroark, and then somebody clicks Close Combat, and then they lost the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you and me have both used Ursaluna in the past, Tsukaba. I know we both had thoughts of like, it's a very good Pokemon, but it is not a Pokemon that you can just have on your team. Like you can't just put it on a team.
Yeah.
It has to be a team that can enable Ursaluna to do good stuff. And I think, you know, a very fast Tailwind plus a very reliable Trick Room setter plus Hisui and Zoroark is a pretty solid set of tools to enable Ursaluna.
Yeah. I like it. We'll see how it works. I mean, I'm hoping that we can really see this mon's potential because I feel like we haven't seen it yet with Ursaluna, where it's like people have drafted it and it's like, you know, it's okay. Like, it's never been bad, but like it for me when I had it, it was like it never packed that oomph I was expecting. Like, it was kind of overshadowed by some of the other mons on my team. I'm hoping we can finally see a coach just unlock this thing and just like be a kill leader. And maybe this is the team to do it.
Do we have a way to enable this Colossal?
We
Is
got
this
Aqua
Colossal?
Jet. That's
Tauros?
about it.
Probably Aqua Jet somewhere. Yo, yeah,
Wait,
Tauros,
no.
Paldean Aqua.
Okay,
It's
only
just
on
Tauros.
only on Stab.
Tauros is invisible, so it's a little.
Only on Stab. Tauros put a Aqua, but yes. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly though, it's like if you just like Terra has been really good for Colossal in this generation. Like people sleep on this Pokemon's ability with Steam Engine since the loss of Dynamax, and like it's valid, but at the same time, like being able to just like Terra Grass and like throw on an Absorb Bulb is like pretty good. Like you're getting most of the benefit of that while also mitigating a lot of the damage. You could also just Terra Fire so that you have the damage. Yeah, you take 25%, but you're also boosting your fire output.
Yeah, your heat wave goes crazy.
Yeah, like I remember I used Colossal with Bruxish a few seasons ago, and like literally you just boost it up with a Terrafire Heat Wave, and you could just take 2 KOs. It's like crazy.
It was like a full year ago at this point.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Cool. I like it.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe. I mean, Tauros is not the ideal partner. I really think Colossal's hard to make work without Bruxish. You really need the priority blocker. Otherwise, Fake Out just ruins the whole strategy. And it's like a turn 1 strategy. So I really think it like requires Bruxish. But yeah, I mean, it's a cool, cute little secondary mode. We're not going to be seeing that most of the time. I like the team.
And let's not forget the Anger Point on Tauros with Glalie.
Yep, that's why it's there.
Already resisted, doesn't have to Terra for it.
It's good stuff.
True. I will say Florges and to a lesser extent Bronzong are really pulling their weight over time in terms of special defense. This team, I mean, other than those two, Colossal is at 90, and then you've got a bunch of 80s in terms of special defense. This is a team that you want to bring your special Pokemon into, and you're going to be hunting for the Assault Vest each week against this team too. Like, you know, where is it this week?
Yeah, there's like 3 good targets for Assault Vest, and it's going to be one of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot. Yeah, I mean, Tauros doesn't mind an Assault Vest, maybe Toxicroak, but then, you know, Rock doesn't want to be relying on their 6-point Fake Out Mon every week to be a special defense. Yeah, Bulk Lord.
Yeah. I quite like. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, it's a solid team overall.
I like the top. I like the second half. It's pretty good. I like it. I think we're gonna see some cool. And I love that we're seeing Zoroark and Ursaluna together. I think maybe this is the chance to shine for both of them.
It's a match made in heaven.
I don't know
where this is the top of B tier for me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
I can get behind that.
That's about what I was thinking.
I mean, my tier list looks a little different from yours at this point, but you know, we're in the same ballpark for the most part.
Yeah, we're, you know, yeah. I know you like your standard distribution, you know, where you have equal numbers.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that
makes the tier list look way better. It did.
I missed the first half, guys. Why is Braff's team so low?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on. Actually, now that you mention it,
it is trouble with grass types.
S is for Seal, right?
Yeah, I actually think we need.
It's like M is for Monkey.
I think we need Seal tier.
Seal tier 6.
Yeah. I make that nice and blue for Seal.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna bump that right up to the top.
Yeah, there you go.
Now we're cooking.
Where he belongs.
Just right where now the tier list is balanced, you see?
Yeah.
And we get rid of that
distribution.
All right.
Who's next?
We've got your boy team, another challenge.
Oh, this team.
Oh, I liked this challenge.
I like the challenge.
This might be the most challenging challenge that has been around in a while.
Well, no. Braff's team was the most challenging challenge.
No, there was no challenge. Braff had it all taken out of his hands.
That's
Your boy
true.
had to make
he left it up
decisions.
to fate.
He made him make grueling decisions.
So this turned out to be really brutal for you, boy, and I feel bad because I feel like on a different draft board this would have been really cool, but the reality is that there just wasn't enough high tiers. Like, you know, I feel like in past seasons it's been like usually at the end of the draft there's like a bunch of high tiers that are available.
Yeah.
Like here, it was literally Arcanine Hisui at 18, and then like everything else was like 14 or below. Like everything got gobbled up on this board. And like by the time your boy was like around round like 5 or 6, I think they realized that this was not going to end well.
Oh no.
Yeah.
But, you know, honestly, I'll be honest here, like 21 points left on the board, you could do a lot worse.
Like, I think we should just let him bank those for next season.
Yeah.
I consider like
That's
I
a
think
free Ursaluna Blood Moon poppin'.
Ursaluna Blood Moon is going to be banned next season.
Well,
Maybe no one uses it. Maybe it sucks. It goes to 40 points on the board.
My point is more that 21, you don't get to bank points for next season. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't hate this team though. Like it's
I think it is fine for a team that only spent 90 points.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
seriously, it's actually like kind of impressive when you consider they left 20 points on the table.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see some transactions. Like, I think at some point you just maybe like grab the high tiers you can.
Like maybe you just drop Hatchram, Clodsire, and like Umbreon, and just grab like whatever's like 3 14 pointers.
I think there's a size spam left because Indeedee Mail didn't get drafted.
Okay.
Maybe you can find someone who clicks Expanding Force.
That's what's right there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think your boy's got to be like on it. Been watching the Discord on the transactions channel to see what he can scoop up if people get sick of certain picks. I think that's going to be a key part of the strategy this season.
That might be fair. And like, you know, that being said, like, how is this team going to try to play? Like, we have some stuff. Like, we have decent high speed tier of Cinderace is getting 119. You know, you have Trick Room setters in the Hatchram and the Gengar. You got Tailwind and the Staraptor. You've got stuff. You've got Intimidate. You've got, you know, some powerful special attackers like the Gengar and the Arboliva. You've got Mienshao and Staraptor. Like, this team has, like, the tools. It's just lacking the overall, like, token mon that, like, this team's identity is built around. Like, this is a team that's missing its most important piece. But, like, the complementary pieces are not bad.
Yeah. As it exists right now, I think your boy's plan is probably going to be a lot of Staraptor final gambiting something to turn it into a 3v3 and just trying to like trade up every week with Staraptor. But like when your top tier mons are Mienshao and Gengar in a format where other people's top tier mons are, you know, Dragonite or Ursaluna Blood Moon or Primarina and stuff like your boy's just not playing in the same regular like
well, I mean,
playing in Daddy Plan Part 2 right now.
Originally their draft plan was Daddy Plan 1.5, and they kind of got it, right?
They did.
Like, they actually kind of got it. Maybe that was the goal. Once they realized that the reverse wasn't going to work, they were just like, I'm just going to do 1.5. I'm going to leave 20 points on the board. I mean, hey,
bank 20 points and make some transactions.
This team can absolutely bank some wins. 100%.
Yeah. I think the harvest mod we're talking about is Arboliva. Arboliva, in and out of Trick Room, it can be really bulky, it can be really consistent, it's got enough special attack that can just hyper voice an energy ball, and with its Citrus Berry, sometimes live an extra. I've seen extra bulky with Leech Seed be able to like grab a game, and I think that's going to be an option that's real for your boy here.
I don't remember, I think James might have said it, the Staraptor plan into just hoping to 3v3. I think there's a good bit of pieces on this team that can actually do that. I mean, Clodsire, Umbreon, Orthworm to some extent, and Arboliva all have the capability to just stall games out as long as possible. So I think if you just get the right piece removed from the game, then you just find which of your remaining 3 are the one that works best to just sit on the field and never die.
Yeah, there's maybe even ton of immunities on this team too. I mean, in a way that is just not generally the case, right? I mean,
Orthworm and Rotom have insane defensive typings with their stupid abilities. And then there's like a small
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 11 Pokemon have immunity to one type or another.
That's a lot of zeros.
And multiple of them are immune to multiple types. That's a lot. So if you can play the defensive game well enough, you get some wins with this one.
And we've got the Parasong on Gengar as a closer. Like there's options.
All right. Well, it's certainly not a top tier team, just given the restriction, but ultimately, where are we thinking this falls? Is it C tier or is it just D? That's the question.
I think it's tough. I think we can put it in C.
I think it's better than some of the other teams we've looked
Yeah,
at.
I'm happy to put it at the top of C. Like I think I believe in I believe in that like it has enough defensive capability that it can grab some wins when it needs to. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's just bottom of C for me. I just can't in good faith put this above the other teams.
Yeah,
that we
great.
saw.
Put it bottom of C. But I think this definitely has some transactions can put it in a good spot.
Yeah, like I said, the pieces are all there. It's just missing that token mon that like the team is built around. But complementary
maybe like
pieces,
a Gallade.
pretty good. Yeah. When Gallade gets, that's true. It is available in both conferences, right?
Yeah, Gallade's available, and maybe just like Sharpness Gallade after your Staraptor, and then you pair a song next to your Arboliva and be like, I got there.
It would certainly make the team a little wider if you get rid of one of these mons for it. All right, next up.
Who's next?
It's me, the spooky team.
Now that's a lot of zeros.
villains.
Yeah, you want to talk about immunities, James? How about that? Just don't look at all the red on the other sides. Trust.
Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, monotype drafts make teams look weird, right? So, it's kind of, I mean, it just becomes weird when you've got a monotype team like this, right? Steve did his flying draft. Daddy did the bug draft a long time ago. Although that was more of a thematically bug. Gigalith is a bug. Flygon is a bug. Stuff like that. Whereas we have gone with the game says dark type level of monotype draft here. And it's spite of that, it's it's a real team.
I like this team. Like you're gonna have exactly the problems that we are expecting of like being weak to bug, which is a bad type, but being weak to fairy, which is a good type, and that's gonna be a big problem. But you have the tools to like fight fairies. You've got King Gambit, you've got King Gambit, and like I guess Muckalola has to come do some fairy fighting. You can mitigate that with your screens on Grimmsnarl. You've got Fake Out. You've got a lot of Stab Sucker Punch. Stab Sucker Punch is one of my favorite things to make sure I bring to a format. I think Murkrow Shift Tree is going to pop off at least a couple weeks. I think it's going to be very fun. I'm looking forward to seeing how you prep and how people prep against you, and seeing like I'm not going to be surprised if we see a lot of Terra. It's like, yep, here's Terra. Terra Poison is really good for you because Psychic is already not coming at you. And now you're resisting your fairies. Now you can go after them.
I think you basically managed to pick up all of the best dark types that fit this challenge. So and I was watching your draft, and all your thought process made total sense. You got King Gambit, Grimmsnarl to deal with the types that hurt a lot. Meowscarada, Greninja don't have to be dark types. Spiritom's the only dark ghost that, well, besides Sableye, but that has no bulk.
That would be a little redundant with the Grimmsnarl.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I think this team has a lot of. If you were to build a mono dark team, this is what it would end up being like 90% of the time if you were going to do it well. So props to you. I think
the only thing that's missing is Hydreigon. It's like pretty important to this team because like otherwise,
it's right there on the end.
Yeah, exactly. Except it doesn't have any of the things that make Hydreigon good for this team. Like the special attacking is like pretty brutal for dark types. Like.
It's rough.
It's really tough. Like, outside of Hydreigon, it's like Zoroark. But, like, do you really want Zoroark on a mono dark team? Probably not. Yeah. When it shares all the weaknesses. So, I'm just going to kind of hope that Houndoom is good enough to just hit Overheat sometimes and, like, do something special. But, like, a lot of my mods can be, like, special in a way. Like, Greninja is special a lot of the time. Although, on this team, a lot of times it's just Protein Gunk Shot. Just to be a poison type.
Real. I like that.
Like, is also looking pretty rough, Sakava.
What's that?
Your special defense.
It's bad. It's bad. You know what? That's what we got screens for, though, baby. Screen team.
I mean,
just
screen team. Screen team is real.
Screen team.
Lean into it.
I don't know. I feel like with the monotype team, it's like one benefit, and Steve brought this up in his video about his flying team after he drafted it, was like, you kind of know what the opponent is going to do to stop it. Like, you know that they're bringing their Terra Fairies. You know they're bringing their bug types, their fighting types. Like, that's how they're trying to beat your team. So it's like, if you can play around that and have that knowledge, I'm hoping that maybe I could find some creative ways around it. I think the protein bros here are very important.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be nice for you.
Just to be able to dodge types. And I have 1 Terra available. So it's like, if I bring these 2... and like King Gambit, Terra Poison, like I really only have 1 dark type, So like, I don't know. I think it'll be fun. It'll be an interesting challenge. And of course I do get the Psychic type week 1, the Psychic type team. Although, very scary bug type, and
very
type,
scary
and
Sneasler.
fighting type,
Sneasler.
and fairy
that you can't sucker punch.
Just we're not gonna worry about it. It's okay. We're gonna bring our dark types and we're gonna see how it goes.
I think bringing the dark types is a good plan.
I don't know. I can't put my team anywhere other than C tier.
I can put you at the top of C. I can put you at the top of C. I think
it's a reasonable C tier team.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll take it.
In there with C is fine.
I'll take it. All right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, moving on to an actually good team, Pancake. Woo!
Hey.
It's you.
Yeah. What's up?
There he is.
Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Jordan.
And
It's
Jordan's
the
back.
Jordan just in time to talk about my team.
Pancake.
Lovely.
Here,
Don't
Jordan,
mind me. I know I'm late. I'm sorry about that.
It's okay. Do you want to
That's
take
fine.
over
Good.
talking for this team while I figure out how to get your camera cropped?
Well, I can't do. Can I do draft league analysis at the speed of light?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, this team looks awesome. I didn't look at Goggle's team, so I don't know your team, Pancakes. It looks pretty awesome. That's my initial vibe check.
I'm excited about
it. Whimsicott's great.
Whimsicott's great.
Where's your power coming from in a word? I mean, there's plenty of answer to that question, but where do you feel like it's coming from?
I think it's coming from the fact that I've got 2 600 BST mons that would love to be in Tailwind, and so like Metagross being like, "Hey, actually I'm faster than you now," or Como being like, "Hey, actually I'm faster than you now," seems like a good place to start.
Yeah, Metagross, it's so quirky because it's so amazing and it doesn't have a setup move. If it has a setup move, it's going to be one of the best Pokemon of all time. So instead, you just have to like click band.
Yep.
Go.
Yep.
And
I can click
Como
band.
has
Put it
too
in
many
Tailwind.
setup moves. Como has 37 setup moves, so if you
Yeah.
get the right one, you just win. So that's a really great base to a team, and Whimsicott I think is great too. Blastoise is a really good base to a team. Arcanine's a really good base to the team, and this is my contention with teams in Draft League, is that when they get really good and you play this game for a long time, like teams just look like a hodgepodge of 11 good Pokemon, and they just have everything, and it's impossible to know what they want to do given week. So I don't see anything initially, but you guys maybe have seen this team longer than I might see some weaknesses.
Yeah, I mean, I really do like this core you've got at the top with the Whimsicott, with the Blastoise and the Arcanine, and the Metagross, obviously. Like, I think you did a good job making a Whimsicott team that just takes advantage of, like, mons that have good stats but maybe don't have a good way to go first. So you just grab the best speed control mon in the format probably with Whimsicott, Prankster,
That's what I do.
And you just let them go first. Metagross, yeah, it has, 70 speed. Now it has 140 base speed.
Yep.
Stop it. One thing I think
you are going to win a game because your Bullet Punch in Tailwind outspeeds their priority move. It's going to happen.
That's right.
Yeah.
You heard
That's
it here.
right.
There you go. The Trick Room mode's a little questionable here, I'll say.
Yeah.
You have Whimsicott as a setter, but Whimsicott doesn't want to click Trick Room.
Whimsicott's
Most of the
clicking in
time.
prison.
Yeah, it's imprisoned Trick Room for sure. I mean, you've got the Golurk, which operates under Trick Room really well, but aside from that, I think if teams find a way to deny you your fast mode and flip the speed, that this team is going to struggle a lot for sure, and I think you know that.
Yeah. I just had a season where deny me my fast mode was the way to get me.
I think
So,
this team has the
Iron
bulk
Ball
to.
Golurk.
This team has the bulk to live through a Trick Room, though. I mean, these things
Yeah,
are
it does.
all
It does.
studs. The only thing that's really frail that I could see coming consistently is Whimsicott, but you have ways around that. And just to highlight the 2 big 600 stat bombs you have there, you picked like 2 of the best to put together on a team. No shared weaknesses, very clear strengths that are difficult to counter both at the same time. And I mean, they're just so good. This is my top team. I'm not sure about you guys, but I don't, like you said, if I'm going up against this team, I'm just hoping and praying that like I call your 6 exactly right and just happen to know all their sets. because I don't see
I
a
need
glaring
your
weakness
vote of
here.
confidence to see the light pop in. I recalled one of the greatest draft league games I've ever played. Early draft league, 2021 probably. Blastoise and Arcanine, Dynamax is the great Snarl Wars. The game lasted over 30 turns. These mons are so chunky, and they aren't even the 2 600 base stat mons we've been talking about. Arcanine and Blastoise are incredibly useful. So Pancakes has it all, right? Like in those 5, I get like we might be able to optimize this back half, but there's obviously a lot of stuff in there too. It's just obviously these mons are not where most of your points went.
Don't forget this defensive behemoth over here, Duraludon. With the Eviolite.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is even meatier than these guys.
He's got some big dumb
That's
stats.
pretty good.
Iron
If
defense.
there's
body
any
press.
team, where you're gonna have the stupid Snarl War, you want to have another team with Glamora where all the opponents are poisoned all the time.
Yeah.
So just another thing that's kind of flying under the radar here, that I'm pretty sure this has the strongest single hit right off the rip on this team with a Meteor Beam. So also have fun prepping for that, I guess.
Yep. I got my Prankster Meteor Beam as well. Oh, just to put it on there, a thing that I didn't know until I was almost done drafting this team, Clangera's Soul is a dance move.
No shot.
What?
Okay, well,
learn
don't
from
Because
every
it's a
day.
Haka.
cut that out of
It's
the
the Haka.
Yeah,
cut that out of the video.
yeah,
Don't let
you're
people
right.
know
All
that.
right, I'm gonna edit that out in post.
No, I want them.
Okay,
I want them
so-
to know that they have to prep for my single electric type in Oricorio.
So I'm gonna say a crazy thing here, and if I was not amongst such illustrious draft league veterans as yourselves, I might get kicked out of the server. But just go with me here, okay?
I'm listening.
Man.
So Como-O and Metagross are they're like bad Pokemon that are really good. So let me explain what I mean by that.
Explain.
Como-O is a Pokemon that is just a little bit awkward to use, because like you kind of gotta just do a little bit of extra. Like it's just a little bit weird and awkward, but it absolutely pays you out, right? It is really good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of bad it's kind of a good bad Pokemon.
Yep.
Or a bad good. I don't know. So it's kind of weird, right? It's kind of awkward. It's a little bit strange, but it absolutely wins games. It's very good. Metagross is similar. All its moves are just slightly inconvenient, right? It's got a lot of like 90 accuracy moves. Its base speed is not really where you want it, but
It has
also
very few moves over with 100 base power.
yeah, its moves just aren't that great, right? It's kind of weird speed, but it wins games. Bullet Punch is broken, and it's
Good.
Steel type, and you can't intimidate it, and it's
Ice
good.
Punch.
Like it's
That's
good, but it's weird and kind of bad. And do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I'm excited
You
to
managed
figure
definitely
it out.
make a lot more sense than when you said Metagross and Como are bad, which we both know.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're definitely tough to use. Like they're tough to get the full potential out of them because their potential is so high. Because
I
they
like
have.
the weird way I said it better than the clear way you said it.
Okay, you know what? I agree. Fair point.
That's fair.
Also, Whimsicott Blastoise Arcanine was like back when Blastoise was a Mega Pokemon in Gen 7. Ooh, give me that team all day.
Metagross,
And it's
it's
still good.
really hard for Metagross to not be good, and we dumped the 4 Dark Legendaries. Like Metagross is amazing. I really believe in it. So just make it work with all your infinite support options. Like, honestly, I think the verdicts on this team could be all over the place, but it's really hard for me to not put it in top tier. Maybe I'm just drinking the Kool-Aid though. I want someone to talk me down.
Yeah,
I think that's a
let's
great plan.
talk about the second half of the team, right? We've basically only talked about the top 5 Pokemon.
Oh, it's not
this
very
whole
good.
time.
Yeah.
It's not that great. So, like, it's not a
We
team
might be able to
without-
optimize it. I know you don't have a lot of points.
Yeah.
But Angie.
Yeah, I ran out of points. I remember I texted Clovis like, "Ooh, I think I've spent all my points."
Bulky Trick Room in Prison might do something for you. If you have like an untauntable one, that would be really, really valuable.
Yeah.
But you can do things with this team. I'm going to be wildly optimistic. I know this team is a top tier to me.
Yeah, I see the vision. I see it.
I don't hate the back end as much as some of the rest of the. I think Golurk is good. Honchkro's good. Both for 3 points. Those are good mons. Spupa's pretty close to the best 1-pointer you can get. The only thing I don't like too much is Duraludon, just because Metagross and Como kind of just eat its lunch. But honestly, that's the smallest nitpick I can find on this team is that Duraludon's not that good. So
I think that's fair.
do with that what you
I mean,
will.
I think
This
it offers
team's
a
awesome.
niche with just really strong Iron Fence body press, though, which I don't really
Como
see
doesn't
anywhere
matter.
else.
Metagross has that.
Does
yeah,
Metagross
Como-
get body
And Como
press?
has it.
Does Metagross get body press?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I did
Como-
not know that.
Oh, well, probably.
Como just
but
do choice
Como
band body
does.
press with Como.
All right,
That's a
never
fun
mind. I
Almost even
lied.
better.
Dab body press.
All right, I lied. Duraludon sucks. I hate that Pokemon.
Mhm.
He was the Titan of low
evolved.
tier, I heard.
It was.
Pretty good. Low tier.
It was. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I think I could put the seat pretty high. Definitely.
I don't think it's quite seal tier, but it's up there.
It might not
Yeah,
be
probably
sealed
not
tier.
low tier.
It's in the other S
I
tier.
might have to
think.
adjust my list here, I think.
I've,
Oh, I haven't seen all these
I've
teams,
gotta
guys.
do that.
Instead of
Yeah.
hear your discussion on them.
Yeah, I don't know. Very nice.
all right, we got one left here.
It's Dan,
Dan is back.
and he's got sand.
He's got sand. So this team is sort of vaguely reminiscent of the VBLN team that I had in the first VBLN season. I had Smeargle. I had Tyranitar with
tell
a
you
sand.
a story.
I had Tyranitar with a Sand Rushmon. It was Dracozolt rather than Houndstone. I think Houndstone is better. I had a strong, bulky fire type in Mega
Camerupt, yeah.
Mega Camerupt.
It's all coming back.
I had a value fake out mon in Toxicroak, and we kind of got that down at the bottom end there with Berserker Metacham. I had Mimikyu as a
Premium.
ghost type and Trick Room setter,
And fake out immune, just like a Rangaroo.
and fake out immune like a regular. Like this is a very very similar team to that one. And I had a lot of fun with that team. That was a really cool, fun team that got to do a lot of weird stuff and had lots of like contained, tight packages to it.
What a lovely way of telling us that this team's got everything in it that's really good.
It
Yeah.
is a good
What
team.
isn't
and
this team doing?
It does have a lot.
Yeah.
The Superior, I could take or leave. Like I think that's 10 points that could maybe be spent more efficiently. The Tatsugiri, it's 4 points, whatever, but I don't really care about that much. But overall, this is a solid team that has lots of Pokemon that like perform clear roles, right? I think Dan's onto something with a lot of these mods.
I have a bone to pick with this team.
Oh.
You want to know what it is?
Lay it
it's,
out.
It's that he robbed us of the opportunity to give Beebraf, Smeargle, and Tatsugiri. That's what I hate about Dan's draft here. Is he stole them. Come on, I wanted to give Braff the sushi combo and Smeargle to see him do funny stuff. Damn you, Dan.
Put on a real team.
I want to believe that Dan will do plenty of funny stuff with it.
That's fair.
Yeah, this team looks like it has lots of funny stuff potential. We've got like instruct plays with Vika Bolt, which is a terrifying Trick Room attacker. We've got really fast Tailwind with Talonflame. We've got full sand. We've got skill swap on Metacham. Like skill swap Houndstone is not fast, but is still very dangerous. Yeah.
I love the Oranguru pick. The best mon in Draft League,
History.
possibly of all time. And if you have a chance, Sukaba, go back to the thing. If you look at the Skeledirge Superior right before Oranguru, those are like perfect instruct targets. I had something in mind with, I guess Vikavolt can do discharge too.
Auto scaling all day long.
Yep. I played a game on ladder today. I was testing some stuff for my week 1. I got absolutely smoked by an instruct onto Torch Song. So doing it with twice the boost from Leaf Storm sounds like a pretty good use of Superior. Obviously, it's a lot harder to use than Skeledirge, especially if you're going in Trick Room to get the full value out of it. But I think this team has a really solid core to it. Houndstone Tyranitar it's really, really cheap for what it was. I think that's cheaper than Floatzel plus Pelipper, which I don't know how that compares in quality. I might rather have Houndstone Tyranitar in a vacuum. Yeah, this team's awesome. It's so good.
Oh,
This is a bulky offense team because it has a premium screen setter, aka Superior.
That's right.
Yeah.
Easy.
I found the skill swap tech. It's skill swap Steely Spirit. And now you have pure power Steely Spirit boosted.
And Steely Spirit.
Ooh.
What?
We thought those last two
It's
mods
the
were
tech.
just for show. That's the tech.
All right,
That's
now
honestly amazing.
I'm seeing the vision. I'm seeing the vision.
The telepathy. There's infinite ways to abuse telepathy on Oranguru. It's
Now
one
we're
of its
cooking.
many fun aspects.
Now we're cooking here.
Yeah.
Do we have Lava Plume on Skeledirge? That would be pretty cool if it did. We got Surf on Tatsugiri for weakness policy Tyranitar.
No
and
Lava Plume.
Specs. No, wait, no, we don't want to hurt ourselves that bad.
Let's talk about the elephant in the room here, though. Smeargle. Is it worth 12 points in a draft league? I don't even know how to
More
use
than
this
that,
thing.
Come on.
Coming soon. I think
It
that
does.
thing's the best.
That has lava plume. If we're worried about a move we don't have,
Yeah.
suddenly
Yeah.
we have it, and now it's even non-stab to set off our stuff. Yeah.
And it's from
Mhm.
20 special attack.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Has anybody other than me used Smeargle in a draft league? Oh, Poppin did, but it had price
Never.
because it was
No.
Slushy had it last
Almost any
season.
of it.
Oh, that's right. I did do that. Yeah.
so that doesn't count.
I think Slushy had it on a team either last season or the season before.
If you have a
Yeah, I mean,
chance,
it's been
recommend
drafted.
Prankster Smeargle.
It's been drafted a couple of times. My thought is, it is not the does everything mon that you hope it is, because it's just so bad. Other than its move pool, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
I mean, 50.
It's a very fair
25,
point.
45.
Honestly. Yeah.
It's so bad. Its abilities don't do it any favors. Its stats are just dog tier trash.
Did you use Smeargle
Yeah,
when it
it's-
had Decorate though?
No, it was before it had Decorate, but
There we go.
on 75 speed.
Scarf Decorate.
Uh-huh.
Come on.
Or just
Never
Decorate.
did I
Pizza.
expect that
Another
argument to
move
sway
easy.
me so hard.
I actually think
Yeah.
Scarf
Yeah.
Decorate is like worth sacking your Smeargle for. It's like
Yeah.
giving them a
Well-
weakness policy, but they get to keep their item.
Well, then
Yeah.
you should have drafted Alchemy because it was only
Better
like
than
7 or
Alchemy
8
because it's
points.
faster.
Yeah, but have you considered
Faster and
Smeargle
less
can also
points.
use Spore, unlike Alchemy.
Oh,
Then
S'more
you should
and
draft
Decorate.
Breloom that's faster
Yeah,
and can.
You're describing a
punch.
mon with a 4x weakness.
Smeargle could never.
Smeargle only has a single weakness.
Everything.
But anyway, that's all to say. Smeargle is fine. Like
Yeah.
it is good. Like because it can do anything, but in practice, it's gonna be like, fake out or fall, like some reliable support move plus some tech thing plus a focus sash plus a whatever cheeky version of protect you want to run to debuff that particular team, whether it's spiky shield or baneful bunker or king's shield or
Burning Bulwark.
Burning Bulwark.
Ooh.
burning bulwark, right? Whatever, right?
Does-
It's gonna be something to mess with your, some weird off-brand knockoff protect, some reliable support move,
Well,
maybe a super fang.
Does the-
right? Like it's the ultimate form of Syndrome Mon.
By design.
Yeah, exactly.
Is
so
the
like
presence
it's fine.
of sand hurting it though? Because it wants to run Sash all the time.
True.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Like
Some,
that doesn't seem ideal.
but it's fine.
Talonflame too doesn't
Not
want to
that
get
worried.
stashed.
That's
Mhm.
also true.
Ugh.
It loses its scale wings anytime
That's a
sand is
Gary
up.
too, because it's one of the worst mons ever created. I just get more and more exaggerated every time I talk about it.
Just run Unnerve. No one will expect the Unnerved Tyranitar. It'll be fine.
I mean, it's pretty good, but
Yeah.
like, it's not as good as you would like it to be for the points you paid. Honestly, that took me way back, guys. James making the really insightful point that Smeargle is bad, and
No, hang on. You are misrepresenting what I said.
no, but
Smeargle
it is bad. That much is true. Like, it is bad. I'm not disagreeing
No.
with you. But it also has
No,
every
it's-
move.
It's fine. Like Smeargle is bad, but because it has every move, it's fine.
Fair.
I don't know. I don't know.
It had a lot of numbers though. That part was good. A lot of tech.
This team is hard for me to rate. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I don't know. I can't tell if it's good. I can't tell. If
It's got Trick Room.
I certainly think
got
it's
speed.
decent.
It's got
I
both.
like it. I like it, but I don't know if it's great.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
Energy is overrated, guys. Honestly.
Yeah, it's got a bunch of Pokemon I like, and also Superior and Vikavolt. But
Yeah, I don't know what it's doing.
I don't know.
Killing.
And it's doing
Guys,
everything
game
because it has
back.
Smeargle.
Yeah, I guess
It's
this
like a-
this really feels like a kitchen sink team. Like it really
A
does feel like
mid-
it can do everything.
a
But fine.
mid B tier team to me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's like pretty
Yeah.
middle of the pack. I would
Yeah.
say.
Jack of all trades.
Sure.
Low A for me.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Well, my friends, that's it. We've talked about
Guys,
all
we did it.
32 teams in the VBLS Season 14. The only thing left now is to conclude Content Week and start up some matches on Monday. Really excited
No,
to
it's not a
see.
new season. Just go back to the draft.
Yeah, let's just draft again.
Oh,
Maybe
let's-
Daddy
let's
will join
already
back
done.
if we just do drafts over and over again.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate you guys.
Jace runs that singles server that
Oh,
they
yeah?
just draft over and over and
Okay.
over and over again.
Maybe we could do something like that.
And just play one match with
Who-
your draft team and then draft
No,
again.
they don't play matches. They just draft
So
and then they draft again.
the
That's
winner
awesome.
of that league would be whoever gets their team placed in SEAL tier. It's easy.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
Graf wins the draft. Well done.
Top tier.
Congrats.
And yeah, so that's it. I'll see you guys for some matches. I'm really excited to see these teams in action. Thank you to my lovely guests, and I'm really looking forward to it. Let's get some VGC on, baby. Woo!
Let's go.
All right. Adios.